volume and surface area of cylinders. Find the volume and surface area of the cylinder shown below. So the volume, very much like a prism, is equal to the cross-section area times the length. With a cylinder, the cross-section is always circular. So we want the area of this circle, which is pi times the radius squared, and then we multiply by the length, which in this case is 9. And then we're going to calculate that. So we have pi multiplied by 10 squared times 9. And that's going to give me 2827.433 and so on. So I'm going to write that down, 2827.43 and so on. Now we're not told the accuracy to give this to, so I'm going to give it to the nearest whole number, and that's 2827, and it's a volume, so it will be centimeters cubed, and I'm going to make a note that I've given that answer to the nearest whole number. Now we're going to consider the surface area. Well, if we assume that the cylinder is solid, so it's going to have a circular end here and a circular end on the bottom, then we can see that each of those circles is going to be part of the surface area. So we're going to need twice this circle basically. But we also have this curved surface area, and I just want to consider that for a moment. So what I have here is just a rectangular piece of paper. If I roll it up like this, I form the curved surface area of a cylinder, which you can clearly see. Now if you look at the end, it's a circle. And if we say that the radius of that circle is r, then the circumference will be 2 pi r. Of course, the height of the cylinder is just the height of the cylinder, h. So if I unroll this now back to a rectangle, you might be able to see that I've got 2 pi r as the length and h as the width. So if I just try and move it better into shot. And so the area of that rectangle would be 2 pi r times h, 2 pi rh. And the area of the rectangle is the same as the area, the curved surface area of the cylinder, because it's exactly the same piece of paper when I roll it up. So from what I was just saying there, we can say that the surface area is 2 pi r squared. So that's the top circle and the bottom circle. And then for the curved surface, if we unroll that into a rectangle, the length of the rectangle would be the circumference of this circle, so that's 2 pi r, and the height would just be the height of the cylinder. So the curved surface area is 2 pi r h. So using the numbers we have, we've got 2 times pi times 10 squared, and then we've got 2 times pi times 10 times 9. And we just need to calculate that. So we have 2 times pi times 10 squared, add 2 times pi times 10 times 9, and that gives me 1193.80 and so on. Once again, let's give this to the nearest whole number. So that will be 1194, and it's an area, so it will be centimeters squared. And again, we gave that to the nearest whole number. And that's the surface area. Find the volume and surface area of the quarter cylinder shown below. Well, the volume should be straightforward. The volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. Here, though, we only have a quarter cylinder, so we'll just multiply that by a quarter, or divide it by 4, it's the same thing. So that's going to be pi times 8 squared times 18 times a quarter, and we'll just calculate that. So that's going to be pi times 8 squared times 18, and then we'll multiply that by, I'll just put 0.25 in, and that gives me 904.77 and so on. So 904.77 and so on. And if we go for the nearest whole number again, so that's 905. This time it's millimeters cubed, and we're going to the nearest whole number. Now for the surface area, let's think about what the shape is made up of. We've got a quarter circle at this end, and there'll be one at the other end as well. So those are quarter circles. The radius is 8. Then we've got the curved surface. And for the curved surface, that's going to be, let's imagine we've got a whole cylinder. We know that's 2 pi r and h, but then we're going to multiply that by a quarter because we've only got a quarter of that. On the background here that we can't see, there's going to be a rectangle. And that rectangle is going to be 8 by 18, and of course we've got another one of those on the bottom. So we've got an 18 by 8, and we're going to have 2 of those, just as we're going to have 2 of those. So let's work that out. So we've got 2 lots of these quarter circles. So 2 lots of pi times 8 squared times a quarter. So the pi times 8 squared is the area of a whole circle, and we've got a quarter circle, and we've got 2 of them. Then we're going to have 2 times pi times 8 times 18. That would be a whole curved surface, and then multiply that by a quarter because we've only got a quarter of that. And then we're going to have 2 lots of 8 times 18. So that's 2 of those rectangles. And we just need to calculate that. So we'll calculate that all in one go. 2 times pi times 8 squared times a quarter. I'm going to put that in as 0.25. Then we're adding to that 2 times pi times 8 times 18, and then times that by 0.25 as well. And then we're adding that to 2 times 8 times 18, and that's 614.72 and so on. And that's going to be 615 millimeters squared. It's a surface area, so it's squared, and that's to the nearest whole number as well.